And welcome back to another week of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley, an abbreviated week. It's already Tuesday, but it feels like a Monday, the 4th day of September 2018. The last time we saw you, it was August. It isn't anymore. I'm Dan Koontz. He's Steve Hare, back from 5 days off, counting the weekend?
Well, I took off last Wednesday, actually.
Right. So Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. That's not bad.
Not bad, huh?
That's not bad at all.
No.
Steve's back. He's got the news, quite a bit of news to get to on this day after Labor Day. I'll be handling whatever else it is that I'm going to handle. Kat is back in control after a couple of days off. In fact, we didn't have anybody working real hard at all around here for a few days. It was like Eric was off, and Kat was off, and Uriah's now off, and I'm always never quite here, and you were off, and
yeah, Dan was put into emergency news duty there on Saturday to cover that fire up near the airport, the Crystal Fire, which, by the way, is now fully contained. And thanks to the quick work of a lot of firefighters out there.
Yeah.
We could have lost some homes in East Wenatchee, but thanks to their work, we were able to stop that before it caused any structural damage.
And if there was any good news out of all this, despite the fact, as Steve mentioned, no injuries, no structures lost, is that our camera from our Facebook live stream on Saturday was a brand new 4K camera we had just put in the day before.
Right.
We're playing with it, and then of course I get the call on Saturday morning, let's get her up and going because we got this fire, and I got down here and we got her up and going. But the footage was like it's 4K. It's twice as good as a regular HD. So.
And judging from the views that we were getting on our Facebook stream, we were live streaming that on our Facebook page, by the way, folks, and I think there was something like 39,000 views of that particular video. So it went viral, definitely.
But everything is okay.
Yeah,
now.
Everything's okay. That's the bottom line.
Yeah. The Chelan County Fair starts this Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Last week I went up to talk to Karen Welch, who's the fair manager, a fairgrounds manager, and also runs the Expo Center. And we went up and talked to Karen as they were getting everybody prepped and ready to go for the fair, which begins, of course, on Thursday. So we're going to have that conversation. We aired it on Friday. We're going to air it again today. I've had a really hard time trying to book a guest for the day after Labor Day. It was like, tough. I can come in Wednesday, but I don't really want to come in Tuesday. It was like, oh, well, why not? And it's back to school for everybody else. There still were a couple of school districts in the North Central Washington area still hadn't started school. They start today. And so with the exception of Wenatchee Valley College and the University of Washington, everybody is up and running now.
Except on the west side, we've got some teacher strikes going on, so apparently that's going to be a delayed start for some of those districts over there.
But everybody's got to do their 180 days, regardless. Remember what happened to Marysville about 10 years ago?
Oh, yeah.
They didn't go back to school until the start of the year, and the kids had to go to school all the way into late July, early August, and they had a 2-week summer vacation. Then it was right back to school again. Not the way to do it. We got the weather forecast, sports. Hey, we want to cure what ails you in the world of baseball. Play the Orioles. They're the worst team in Major League Baseball, and after that split series with the Mariners, with Oakland, they back home and they took care of business against Baltimore yesterday. We'll talk about that. We also have the obscure holiday today in history, birthdays. Everyone is entitled to Mike McNity's opinion. Steve has your news. Let's do it. You ready?
Well, let's check it out.
Good looking weather forecast, and this is a good example of that. Now that's the lower cross camera. That camera's a little more to the east of the normal camera. It's also a little bit lower, so you get a little bit more of the East Wenatchee area.
A little more smoky haze today.
It is a little on the smoky and the hazy side. Combination, as you mentioned before, that the one fire in East Wenatchee is contained, which is not out, it's just contained.
No, it's basically fully contained. There may be some hot spots.
Right, yeah. So there, as we mentioned before, there's a big difference between containment and being out. Like the Cougar Creek fire, that's a perfect example of that. So yeah, we still got some smoky and hazy conditions with the high humidity, 67%. It's going to stay that way for a little bit, at least for the rest of the day.
There this morning, isn't there?
It's 54 degrees outside, but we got summertime weather for most of this week. Camera 2. Kat says, let's pay a visit to Omi Garden from an entirely different angle.
Look at this.
I don't recall seeing that one before.
It's up behind Omi Gardens, isn't it?
Yeah, that's Cougar Ridge.
Oh, I'm sorry. There we are.
Yeah, that's Cougar Ridge, but a neat way to do that. That is Cougar Ridge, correct, Kat? I'm pretty sure that is. Yeah, she's moving it. Whoa, there we go. We're moving it. Yep, so that's pretty cool. Nice little close-up of Omi Gardens. Looking good. Here's the rest of the Wenatchee Valley. We take a look at Turtle Rock, and looks a little smoky there, doesn't it?
From Orondo Rock.
Yeah. See, are those boats? No, those are not boats. That's little rocks that stick up.
Well, whatever they are.
Yeah. So I mistook those for boats a couple of weeks ago. Those aren't boats. Those are either rocks or big old tree limbs hanging around there. Good morning to the greater Turtle Rock, Arundel Rock area.
You'll be seeing the water skiers out there pretty soon.
I wouldn't. It's still a little chilly for me. Good morning to Leavenworth. It's looking good up in Leavenworth.
Looking down from Tumwater Mountain?
Yeah. A little smoky, a little hazy at the very top of the ridges. As you can see there, the sun's just starting to get going. We're losing about 2.5 minutes of daylight a day, Steve. Sunrise this morning is 6:24, so it wasn't that long ago. Sunset 7:35. Tomorrow, sunrise 6:25, sunset 7:33. About 2.5 minutes of daylight per day is what we're losing, and we're kind of running out of summer too. We have a little more than 2 weeks left.
Gorgeous weather conditions. So.
Yeah, the weather's going to be really nice. It's looking good. A little breezy at times. Outside of that, very dry. We're looking for rain. It ain't happening. As far as breezy, west wind about 7 miles an hour. Really not much, but we can live with it. Lots of sunshine today, high of 84, which is just a couple of degrees below normal. Clear tonight, 58 for the overnight low. The high pressure ridge, Steve, is right over the coast of the state. It's not big. It's not out over the Pacific and where it can get really big. It's not necessarily sizable, but it's centered right where we want it to be. So sunshine Wednesday, a high of 86. Wednesday night, clear 62. Sunshine Thursday, high of 89. Friday, 84. Saturday, mostly sunny, 76. There is a cold front that's going to arrive Friday and Saturday. It's going to bring cooler conditions and breezy temperatures. The one thing that we really would like is measurable rain. We haven't had that since June 16th. Was the last time we had measurable rainfall at Pangborn, and there is absolutely none.
Also remember, we're still in the fire season here, folks, and as you recall, it was a couple of years ago we had that lightning strike around September 7th, wasn't it, when we had that?
The fires of 2012 was Labor Day Sunday, is when that strike came and brought all the smoke in. That was the Sunday before Labor Day Monday.
Yeah, September 7th, I think that was.
I can't remember.
Yeah.
How could you remember? That's good.
Well, I was coming home from a cruise. That's why.
Okay.
Yeah, and I saw the smoke on the hillside there from that lightning strike.
Well, we were barbecuing on that Sunday night at a friend's house, and we saw the lightning. We're talking about September of 2012, of course. And nothing really developed. And the next day, we went golfing up at the Highlander. And you could, and by a certain view, by a couple of holes, you could look right up into the holler where the fire started, and you could just see it just take off. It kind of slept for a little bit, and then the winds picked up on that Monday afternoon of Labor Day, and we dealt with a whole month full of smoke. Ugh, I remember that. Yeah.
Don't let the cooler temperatures and calm weather deceive you, folks.
Yeah.
Still really dry out there.
Wouldn't mind some rain, though. 54 degrees outside of our studios. Again, lots of sunshine, highs in the 80s today, tomorrow. Right into Thursday, a bit of a cool down for the weekend. 8 minutes after the hour, we got the news with Steve Hare right around the corner. The news is brought to you by our friends at Cascade Medical, trained with a physical therapist who loves the outdoors as much as you do. Cascade Medical, partners in your health.
The physical therapists at Cascade Medical love the outdoors as much as you do. But sometimes where there's love, there's also pain. Let us help you get back to the activities that you love. Cascade Medical, partners in your health.
The NCW Live Channel is your home for local news, local weather, and events including live local high school sports. Watch inspiring local shows featuring local people. Don't miss Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. Let's Learn, Guada TV, Street Talk and Other Stuff, the 12th District, Life with Lisa, and the Arbiter of Stoke. NCW Live Channel is your local TV station.
And now it's time for your local news update with Steve Hare.
Well, here we are on Monday. Steve Hare with you on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. And news-wise, here's what's happening around north central Washington. A very busy weekend as far as firefighting is concerned. No structures were lost, but it was a close call Saturday in the East Wenatchee area when a brush fire broke out. Here we can see from our time-lapse images from our Valley View cameras provided to us by Sky-Fi. The Crystal Fire started after midnight in the area of Nile and 10th Street Northeast, just north of Pangborn Airport. That fire quickly spread, fueled by erratic winds and extremely dry conditions. Level 2 evacuations were issued for about 40 homes in that area. Additional resources were called in after Douglas County Fire District 2 Chief Dave Baker requested state mobilization. Meanwhile, the fire came perilously close to these homes in the 10th Street area, but none were damaged, luckily. Crews from multiple agencies responded. They worked through the weekend, putting out hot spots before declaring that fire fully contained Monday afternoon. Again, all told, the final toll, the fire scorched over 2,600 acres of grass, brush, and sage, but again, there were no injuries and no structures lost in that fire. Very lucky. Although 2 homes in Wenatchee neighborhood were damaged Sunday in a blaze that officials suspect was caused by children playing with fire. Crews from Chelan and Douglas County responded around 3 in the afternoon to the fire located in the 1100 block of Highland Drive. The Wenatchee World reports that the fire spread from the yard onto the first dwelling and then spread to a neighbor's home. All of the occupants, including an elderly couple in one of the homes, were able to escape unhurt. Now, the first home sustained damage to both the interior and exterior, with the damage to the second structure limited to only the outside of the home. One firefighter was reportedly treated for overexertion. A fatal accident caused a major traffic backup on an already holiday congested Interstate 90 Monday afternoon. The one vehicle crash left 2 dead and 6 injured, all from the Snohomish area. State Patrol report says it happened when the car suffered a blown tire and then crashed into a creek off the highway about a mile south of Ellensburg. Also, from the weekend, 3 people injured in a crash that shut down Highway 243 in Grant County last night. State troopers say it happened shortly after 8 p.m. at milepost 1 just north of the Vernita Bridge, when the driver of the semi towing a flatbed trailer lost control and crashed into a second vehicle, injuring all 3 occupants. The injured were transferred to Cadillac Hospital in the Tri-Cities for treatment. Roadway was shut down until just after 4 a.m. this morning, so it's been reopened. Also, Chelan County Sheriff's Office reports that blasting caps found on private property near Plain were detonated Friday by an explosive ordnance disposal team from Yakima. A citizen cleaning up an estate on Pine Tree Road in the Chihuahua River Pines community located 19 blasting caps in a shed on that property. Now, they were finally taken to a large sand pile at the county shop area on Chumstick Road near Leavenworth, where a controlled detonation of the devices was performed at about 7 in the evening. Now, there was a loud explosive sound associated with controlled disposal of those blasting caps. Never a danger to the community, according to the Sheriff's Department. The Sheriff reports the blasting caps had apparently been stored in that shed for many years by a previous resident of the property on Pine Tree Road. Elsewhere this morning, strong customer demand and the addition of a 4th daily flight led to an all-time monthly record of over 12,500 commercial passengers traveling through Pangbourne Airport in July of this year. That represents an increase in passengers of 22.7% over July of last year. Total number of passengers traveling through Pangbourne is up nearly 7% for the first 7 months of 2018 versus the same time period last year. Meanwhile, the Port of Chelan County and its commissioners, Commissioner Roy Turner, reacted to the good news. He said continued strong passenger growth lays a great foundation for Pangbourne to attract new air service to additional destinations. Other statistics from this summer's activity at Pangbourne show an increase in the revenue from car rentals, parking, and fuel. Car rentals in July 2018 saw a 42.2% increase over July of the previous year, while June's numbers showed a 128% hike. And finally, the opioid and heroin crisis is devastating cities and towns all across the country, including right here in our own Wenatchee Valley. On a recent episode of Street Talk and Other Stuff with Mike McNaughty, Sergeant Chris Foreman with the Columbia River Drug Task Force talked about how the progression began here in the valley and how opioid use has led to heroin abuse.
When I first started at the Columbia River Drug Task Force, that was 2011.
Okay.
And heroin was literally, hadn't heard about it at all. From some of the old-time detectives, there was a kind of a contingent of the Vietnam era type folks that used heroin, very small in our community. And then what we started to see, kind of right after I got into that position, was there were folks, young people, 19, 20 years of age, that were abusing Oxycontin, oxycodone, and so there was this trend where social media, internet, the word got out there that if you smoked this pill and inhaled the smoke off of it, that you would get high, and so young people started experimenting with this, and it got so out of control so fast that the FDA stepped in and said, okay, we're going to change the coating on these pills, so if you try to do that, you'll get sick, and so those pills, once the coating changed, the old pills were very expensive. So at the time, for example, the street price for an 80 milligram pill was $80, and then once it switched, $80, yeah. But once it switched, and they had the coating, those old pills, if you still had them, went up to $150, almost twice the price. And then what happened was there was this demand. There was no supply, and so the cartels got involved and they introduced black tar heroin. So we started seeing heroin because Oxycontin, oxycodone, synthetic opiates, and that's what heroin's made from. So all of a sudden heroin was introduced to our Wenatchee Valley, and it would be $10, $15 a gram. It was very low grade as far as potency. But you have that contingency in our valley that we're using drugs anyway. Meth was $100 a gram, $80 to $100 a gram. Here's this new thing that all of a sudden certain people are using. They're hearing about it, and they're starting to experiment with heroin. And I think because of that generational gap, people just didn't know how addictive and what a horrible drug and the side effects of that is.
Again, that's Chris Foreman with the Chelan County Sheriff's Office. He currently heads up the Chelan Detachment for the Sheriff's Office, formerly with the Chelan County or the Columbia River Drug Task Force. Again, Foreman says law enforcement does not receive a single state dollar for opioid enforcement. But he said there are many treatment centers around north central Washington for those that need that help. Definitely a scourge that we're suffering through here in the United States right now, the opioid crisis, but good thing we got some good people out there to help out.
It's readily available and not very expensive. No. That's usually a bad sign. 53 degrees, yeah, it's chilly. It feels very autumnal-like outside of our studios, but we're going to see 84, 86, 89, 84 all this week. It's still summertime, folks. The living is still easy. The fish are still jumping. The cotton is still high.
That's right, and your mama's good looking.
Yeah, but thank goodness Daddy's rich, as they used to say. The news with Grant Olson comes your way at 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and 10 o'clock. The song is called Summertime Cat. It's a George Gershwin classic.
Caitlin puts up with us.
Yes, it is. 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and 10 o'clock, the news with Grant Olson. He'll also be handling sports today because Eric is taking one more day off. So the news in one tiny little package will come your way on television. It's also available on demand by going to our Facebook page. You can also watch it on our website on demand. Or, of course, remember our website, we stream live all the time. So this show is on our website. If you go to ncwlife.com and watch now, click on the icon. We had a lot of folks who watched the Eastmont-Wilson football game on Friday night from Tacoma. We were talking to one of the coaches from Wilson High came up because we were getting the gear set up, and you can't help but notice a big van with wires and antennas sticking up and people running all over the place. He goes, "Is this on TV?" Well, he didn't say it like that. He said, "Is this on TV?" And we said, yeah, it's on NCW Life. It's the local station. He goes, "Do you stream it?" He goes, "Yeah." And he did a big Facebook blast for all of the folks who follow Wilson High School football, and a bunch of folks didn't have to drive over to Tacoma to watch the game. And they watched their team lose 20-0 to Eastmont. So,
well, they didn't have to waste the gas money anyway.
That's true. Yeah. So if you want to be a part of our news team, by the way, you can do so. There's any number of ways to do it. Once again, doing the honors, Steve Hare.
And thank you very much for those of you that have taken advantage of that, too. It's a great source for us to get our news and tips and such. So you can do it on our website at ncwlife.com just by pressing the little tab at the top of the page there that says Contact Us. Also, you can talk to us on Facebook and Twitter. We constantly link our stories on our website to Facebook, so it's a good way to comment on them as well. News at ncwlife.com is our email address, so use that to communicate with us. And as always, if you see news breaking, call us on the hotline. It's 888-6295.
It is 20 minutes after the hour, 53 degrees on our way to highs in the mid-80s pretty much all this week. A little cool down for the weekend. Sports is coming up Also, the obscure holiday, today in history, birthdays. Everyone is entitled to Mike McNally's opinion and my conversation with Karen Welch as we're getting ready for the Chelan County Fair, which begins the day after tomorrow. All that coming up between now and 8 o'clock. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley live this morning from Studio 7 in downtown Wenatchee on the NCW Live channel.
I'm Grant Olson, and you're watching the NCW Live channel.
I'm Eric Grandstrom with NCW Live Sports.
I'm NCW Live News Director Steve Hare.
Catch us on Local Tel Channel
You
12.
can watch us on Charter Channel 19 or stream us live on ncwlife.com.
Follow us on Twitter and like us on Facebook.
Where we cover the local high schools, the Wenatchee Wild, and the pro teams out of Seattle.
On Saturday, we have a 90% chance of rain.
Catch it all right here on the NCW Live channel.
I have a doctor who knows what they're talking about.
It's just so much more hands-on and friendly than anywhere else I've ever been.
It's really great to walk into somewhere where you feel welcomed and you feel accepted.
We've just been grateful for the care and respect that we've been given there.
And here when I come to visit my doctor, I'm not afraid to ask questions.
It's not just about getting you in and out.
I love my care at CVCH. It's awesome. Give it a try.
And welcome back to this Tuesday edition of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. I am Dan Kuntz. Sports, Erasmo Ramirez allowed just one run in 5 1/3 innings, and the Seattle Mariner bullpen shut down the Baltimore Orioles the rest of the way. The final on Monday was 2-1. Ramirez improves to 2-3 on the year. He allowed 2 hits, struck out 5, walked none. The right-hander is 2-1 in 5 starts since coming off the disabled list back on August 12th, but he did give up 7 runs and 9 hits in 3 innings against the Padres back on August 29th. And that start in San Diego was the only time since Ramirez returned to the rotation that he's allowed more than 3 runs, so he's pitching pretty good. Edwin Diaz struck out the side of the 9th for his 52nd save and 26th one-run save, both of which lead the majors. Zach Duke, Nick Vincent, and Alex combined to pitch 2 2/3 scoreless innings before Diaz finished off the 3-hitter. Ryan Healy had an RBI base hit, and D. Gordon added a sacrifice fly, both off of Josh Rogers. The M's were coming off that 4-game split in Oakland that dealt a setback to their playoff hopes. They really wanted to take at least 3 of those 4. The Orioles, of course, have the Major League's worst record, and they've lost 4 in a row now. These two teams will go at it again today. Alex Cobb will pitch for the Orioles. The Mariners will go with left-hander Wade LeBlanc, who's also been pitching quite well lately. And that's a quick look at sports at 23 minutes after the hour. Let's do the obscure holiday. Today, September 4th, is Eat an Extra Dessert Day. It encourages everybody to treat their sweet tooth for a second time around, or even a third, if that's no difficulty for you. I actually had a piece of banana cream pie for dessert last night. It was so good. I had another piece of banana cream pie. Desserts, of course, are traditionally at the end of the meal. Now, there are people who eat dessert first and then move on to the main part of the meal. In our family, you didn't get to eat dessert unless you ate your dinner. And of course, by that time you were full and you didn't want dessert. So indulge yourself with a little extra dessert on this day. It's a great made-up holiday. Somebody made it up. I don't know why. September 4th is Eat an Extra Dessert Day. For many people, that's every day. 24 minutes after the hour, today in history. Happy 237th birthday to, let's see here, El Pueblo de Nuestra Señora de la Reina de Los Angeles, L.A. L.A. is 237 years ago. 44 Spanish settlers planted the flag. There's the flag of Los Angeles on September 4, 1781. So Los Angeles is 237 years old today. Fun facts about Los Angeles. An oil derrick on the property of Beverly Hills High School produces about 400 barrels a day, and that means about $300,000 in royalties for the school. Not bad. Maybe more schools should drill for oil. And the average traveler in Los Angeles experiences 72 hours of traffic delay per year. You sit in your car for 72 hours a year if you're the average LA commuter. But ironically enough, the average LA commute from work to home or home to work is only 9 miles, which is shorter than most major metropolitan areas. Los Angeles, 237 years old today. September 8th, 1888, 130 years ago, George Eastman registers the trademark Kodak and gets a patent for a camera that uses roll film. Kodak was a behemoth for many, many years, right up until the early 1990s. And then the digital camera boom came, and Kodak was not ready for it. They didn't make the adjustments quick enough. And before you knew it, they were hurting. And now Kodak has sold off almost all of their patents. And they had just about every significant patent in the world of photography. They sold them all off. Kodak, which was one of the biggest companies in the world, now barely exists. About 130 years ago, it got going September 4th, 1888. Speaking of companies, September 4th, 1957, the Edsel. Yes, you could go to your local Ford dealer and pick up an Edsel. The Edsel is 61 years old. It cost the Ford Motor Company $250 million. That's about how much they lost between the development, the manufacturing, the marketing of the Edsel. And there's a reason why the Edsel lost a lot of money and became synonymous for commercial failure. The car wasn't really good. It kept breaking down, and that's really a problem. The Edsel, they're still out there. You'll see them every once in a while. Is 61 years old. So that's a company that didn't do too good, or a brand that didn't do too good. Google's doing just fine, and Google is 20 years old today. Two students at Stanford University, Sergey Brin and Larry Page, found Google. It's doing all right. Google is 20 years old today. Still trying to take over the world, so I'm told. And finally, we got some birthdays. Paul Harvey would have been 100 years old today. Paul Harvey, the American radio host, was by far the highest paid radio person for a long, long time. In the year 2000, he signed a 10-year contract for $100 million with ABC. Paul Harvey was born on this date 100 years ago today. He died in 2009 at the age of 90, Paul Harvey. Tom Watson, one of the greatest golfers ever, is 68 years old today. There's Tom. He has 8 major championships. He won the British Open 5 times. That's pretty good. He got 2 Masters titles, 1 U.S. Open championship. The only major that he didn't win in his career was the PGA championship. And he was the #1 player in the world from 1978 to 1982. Not bad. Tom Watson, also a class act. Tom Watson is 68 years old today. And Beyonce. Been in the news quite a bit lately. There's Beyonce, singer, songwriter, producer, dancer, actress. She's done it all. She's sold over 100 million records worldwide. She has won 22 Grammy Awards, and she is the most nominated woman in Grammy Awards history. And the most famous fact, the most interesting fact about Beyonce, nobody in the world anywhere sold more records between the year 2000 and 2009 than Beyonce, the #1 artist of the first decade of this millennium. Life is good for Beyonce. She's 37 years old today. All right, 28 minutes after the hour. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, everybody is entitled to Mike McKnighty's opinion, and they're going to hear my conversation with Karen Welch as we get ready for the Chelan County Fair. It starts Thursday. It's that time of the year again. All of that coming up. You're watching Wake Up in Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Live channel.
Hello, Wenatchee Valley. Christian Shainman here with Bay Equity Home Loans.
Let us make your dream of home ownership a reality. We're here to guide you through the loan process every step of the way. Check out our convenient online application. Bay Equity Home Loans in Wenatchee, your home for loans.
Stop on by or give us a call today.
Eastern Washington. It's a great place to call home and a great time to own a home. It's the ideal place to lay down roots for your family and your future. Gisa Credit Union thinks Eastern Washington is a great place to own a home too. That's why we offer all kinds of home loans with personal attention every step of the way. We're your home. For home loans, we're Gisa Credit Union.
You can buy fruit almost anywhere. From first off the tree to first in your hands, Lone Pine offers seasonal fruit from their farm and around the region every day. Make Lone Pine your latte stop with coffee from Blue Star Coffee Roasters and a fresh piece of fruit pie. Take a break with a friend and order a cold micro beer or a glass of Northwest wine. Bring the whole family and enjoy a Lone Pine lunch or a fresh shake in their park-like setting. Lone Pine Fruit and Espresso on Highway 97.
Looking for a hands-on, high-demand job? Now is the perfect time to get trained for a career in manufacturing. Washington currently has a shortage of skilled tradespeople, and retirements are making room for more. The machining program at Wenatchee Valley College is designed to give students the foundation to excel in this precision industry. Don't wait, there are only 15 spots left. A 2-year degree and a 1-year certificate are available. Learn more at wvc.edu/machining.
At Local Myth Pizza, we believe in real food, freshly prepared with only premium ingredients. Our cheeses are imported from Italy. Our sauces, dressings, and even our sausages are made in-house fresh daily. Featuring Northwest craft beers and 30 Chelan Valley wines and ciders. Family fun and amazing food. Eat local, drink local, and be local at Local Myth Pizza.
Come see why Sunset Magazine says you can't beat Local Myth Pizza.
I'm Grant Olson, and you're watching the NCW Life channel.
I'm Eric Grandstrom with NCW Life Sports.
I'm NCW Life News Director Steve Head.
Catch us on Local Tel Channel 12.
You can watch us on Charter Channel 19 or stream us live on ncwlife.com.
Follow us on Twitter and like us on Facebook.
Where we cover the local high schools, the Wenatchee Wild, and the pro teams out of Seattle.
On Saturday, we have a 90% chance of rain.
Catch it all right here on the NCW Life channel.
This is the NCW Life Community Calendar brought to you by Local Tel. Ponderosa Players Youth Theater presents Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs this Friday and Saturday. It's happening at the Ponderosa Clubhouse in Leavenworth. Saturday is also the Leavenworth Fall Wine Walk from 12 to 5:30. Visit 20 tasting rooms and special tasting sites and receive special prizes. For more information and other community events, visit ncwlife.com.
Hey, this is Mike Mad Dog Magnotti, and everybody is entitled to my opinion. I've been reading a book by Roman Catholic theologian Richard Rohr. Now, I have to say, I do think a lot of Rohr's questions and the theological dilemmas he faces would be clear to him if he was married, had a wife, and had kids. Okay, now, no disrespect to the Roman Catholic Church, but both of the mysteries and meaning of life and questions and stuff like that they might have been made clear to me simply because I'm married and I have a family. Now, learning to live and get along with someone else, particularly as someone who is as different and wonderful as Rosie is for me, has caused me to grow and change in ways I otherwise never would have. That's pretty simple, actually. If the Roman Catholic Church would just let their priests get married and have kids, they'd understand our life a whole lot better. I mean, just like you and me. Well, that is, if you're not a Catholic priest anyway. Well, this is Mike Mad Dog Magnotti, and that's my opinion.
Dear Mary Maids, just got home from a trade show and I didn't have time to pick up the house. Kids made chili. Jeff did a mud run. Oh, and Winston shredded Teddy's bed. Again, please clean it the best you can. Oh, except for the statue Max made for me. Thanks, Abby.
Hi, Abby. Clean kitchen, clean bath, clean floor, naughty cat. Poor Teddy. The statue is precious. You should keep it forever. See you next time, Mary Maids.
This is State Representative Kerry Condata inviting you to watch our new and improved 12th District 2.0 show. Now featuring more information on federal, state, and local issues in a leaner, faster format. Guest hosts John Wise and Shiloh Shower bring it all home with yours truly, Kerry Condata. Why do we call it 2.0? Because just like me, it's the stronger, faster, and lighter version of today's politics. Also available on demand at ncwlife.com.
With 15,000 square feet to explore, you'll find something special at the Antique Mall at Cashmere. For the do-it-yourselfers and those with a keen eye for making something old, fresh and new again, the Antique Mall at Cashmere is the place to come find your next project. From the coin enthusiasts to avid collectors, Antique Mall at Cashmere has treasures in every corner. Come find your treasure today. Antique Mall at Cashmere's friendly staff is here to help. Stop on by today.
You don't want to see this happen. It's the oil light on your car. Oil is the lube of life for your car's engine. At Alignment Pros and Express Lube, they pour the best oil your car deserves. Expect fast, friendly, superior service in a clean environment. They'll change your oil and perform a 21-point inspection while you enjoy the comfort of their amazing waiting room. Keep your car in top shape at Alignment Pros and Express Lube in East Wenatchee.
The NCW Live Channel is your home for local news, local weather, and events including live local high school sports. Watch inspiring local shows featuring local people. Don't miss Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. Let's learn. Guada TV. Street Talk and Other Stuff. The 12th District. Life with Lisa. And the Arbiter of Stoke. NCW Live Channel is your local TV station.
What's your auto mocha emergency?
It's a Frappuccino mocha with whip.
The espresso shakes are my most favorite because I can get any flavor. Peanut butter chocolate for pita.
Definitely the espresso shakes. My favorite is the mocha for pitas.
A peach Red Bull.
And welcome back to Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. We have taken our cameras and our top flight content producer, Megan, and I have made it here to the Chelan County Fairgrounds and Expo Center, getting ready for the Chelan County Fair number... Karen, do you remember what number fair this is? The third. This is the third Chelan County Fair. I don't know. It goes back to the... Karen Welch is here. She's the fair manager and the expo manager. That means she lives out here. It's fair time again.
Yay! We're excited.
You seem to be holding up pretty well. This is the time of the year when you start getting the phone calls and the emails and the faxes and everything. You're getting ready to go. You ready?
We're getting there. We're getting there. I'm always excited. You know me. I love fair. I want everybody to love fair. I want everybody to come to fair. So it's a great time of year.
It is a great time of the year. It is fair season. Of course, fair traditionally meant, and it still does, the harvesting of the crops. Everybody gets together and celebrates the bountiful harvest, and we eat apples and carrots and corn and everything. And fairs, of course, have evolved over the years to livestock and everything else. But you guys have held true to your roots throughout the course of the history of the Chelan County Fair, haven't you?
Yeah, definitely, because we're agricultural. There's lots of that to see in the Boswell building. Just got news the other day. There's supposed to be a really big pumpkin coming this year, so we're excited to see if that materializes. And then, of course, with the agriculture, FFA and 4-H still going strong. Lots of cattle, sheep, swine, etc. So our auction then is on Saturday.
Hey, before we go any further, that reminds me, as we get closer and closer, if you want to enter into the fair, whatever it may be it a quilt or arts or crafts or whatever, you got some deadlines you got to get to, don't you?
We do, but we also have something new this year. So on Wednesday, which is entry day, that's Wednesday, September 5th, and we're starting something new. We're trying to get people to bake pies. Bring a pie as an entry instead of having them just sit all week and turning a different color by Sunday, along with the fruit flies. On Thursday morning up in the gazebo area, we'll be having a slice of heaven is what they're calling it. And it'll be by donation or free, a slice of pie. And all of those donations, that money will go to our scholarship program for our ambassadors, send kids to college. So it makes a lot more sense to make use of the pies rather than just see them go to waste by Sunday at 5 o'clock.
That's a capital idea. I, for one, like to eat pie. So how can I get on that?
Definitely. I'm going to try to find my way up there. We'll see if that works out.
That's a great idea. Who came up with that idea?
Me.
She's good. Let's talk about the deadlines. I got my whatever it is that I want to enter to be judged in the fair. What do people need to know?
Okay, they need to know that they need to bring their still life. And what we mean by still life is anything that's not an animal, and that can come in starting on Wednesday the 5th at 9 a.m. till 8 p.m. There'll be superintendents in the buildings that'll help them out with any of the paperwork, get it put into the right division, the right department. And then at 3 o'clock, that's when the animals can come in and they go through the livestock gate for a vet check.
And it should be pointed out, if you have a hobby or a craft or something that you're good at, the odds are pretty good that it's something that can be judged right here, right?
we probably have a department for just about everything and anything. If you have a collection of something, you've made it, you've baked it. I always say, make it, bake it, take it to the fair. So yeah, I can't think of anything that we don't probably have covered.
My mom used to bring her needlepoint every year, and it was such a big thing because I'm stacking up my work against everybody else who does what I do. And every few years she got a ribbon, and she was just tickled pink about it.
Well, we do something we started last year that's also new, and that's in our quilting and our sewing and in our art department. We have a lot of people that they just want to showcase what they've made, but they really don't want the competition. And so we have a exhibit only department for those people who just want to bring it and kind of show it off, but really don't care about it being judged or getting a ribbon.
So you've mentioned new a couple of times, which is we like new. You're never afraid of change because things have to change and evolve for the fair to continue to grow and to thrive. What else is new for the 2018 fair?
Well, new is that we probably have at least 15 entertainers coming this year. So we've got lots of different entertainment all through the week, which is a good reason to buy a season pass or be an exhibitor, because then for an adult it's only $12. That gets you into fair every day. It's pretty darn cheap. And parking's free, so I always say parking's free, and that's a plus. So let's see, we've added, I think we're up to 70 feet on the model train display this year, where we've worked at getting some air conditioning in our exhibit buildings for this year. We just trying to think of all the new, because everything changes. We have new vendors. We have some new food vendors and some new commercial vendors that are joining us this year that have never been to the Chelan County Fair.
When you make your phone calls to all the people out there and you say, hey, it's Karen, Chelan County Fair coming up, bring your stuff, or they solicit you, can I come and set up for 4 days? Is it a hard sell, or are they pretty familiar with the fair and what you do?
Not a hard sell. People want to come. We have a gorgeous fairground. It's usually at a great time of the year. Weather's perfect, for us most of the time. Just trying to think of any. You said new, so I'm trying to think of all the other new. We still have Kids Zone. We have some new things going on up in our Kids Zone this year. And then once again, we're doing a Friday night concert. And the Friday night concert is free with your admission to the fair. So you can see Colin Ray for $10.
He's a country superstar with a bunch of country #1 hits.
Like 16 #1 hits. I mean,
16 more than I've had.
Me too.
Some people are used to all the traditions. My guess is opening day is usually Kids Day and then Senior Day and stuff like that, or have you mixed stuff around a little bit?
No. Our opening day is Senior Day. Okay. And so seniors 62 and over get in free from 9 a.m. till 4 p.m. And then Friday's Kids Day, and they get in free from 9 a.m. till 2 p.m.
But the best way to do it is just get the pass, and you can come and go as you please.
Or be an exhibitor. We have the state fair commissioner coming this year, and that's when they do an overall judging of our fair, and number of exhibits plays a part in that. So we'd like people to participate so we can score well. That does help with some of our revenue from the Department of Agriculture, which then pays our premium and our ribbons money.
And this is a beautiful campus. There's no wonder you love it here, because you get to go to work in this gorgeous layout with beautiful green grass and big, tall, old trees and all the improvements that they made. This is not like a dusty, flatlands. This is a beautiful area to come, isn't it?
Yeah, we'd like it to look more park-like. I think we planted 15 new trees this year, just trying to give it more of that effect. And plus, we have the mountains. I mean, we're just looking right up into the enchantments.
And it should be pointed out that we come here every year for the Bluegrass Festival, and they love it here because they love what you people have done to the parking lot and the RV hookups and everything. They just love coming here, and everybody does.
I think so.
Did we touch on everything, Karen? Did I miss any? I know you're busy. What did we miss?
We missed the rodeo. Okay. We got our Ag Supply Rodeo, and that's on Saturday night, 7 p.m., and then Sunday afternoon at 1. So we've got the trick riders are coming back with that, and so I just want to let everybody know that Saturday night and Sunday afternoon for the rodeo.
So when can people take a look at the program, or can they go to the website, or is it going to be usually it's an insert in the local papers? When can people get a hold of the actual paper program and make their plan?
Well, I would say get on our website. That's where most of our information is, and it's generally when you walk in the gate, there's something to tell you what's going on that day at the fair, but the website will tell you. You can give us a call in the office.
Come on down to the Chelan County Fair. Come on out and meet Karen Welch. That doesn't rhyme. I'm looking forward to it. It's always the weekend after Labor Day weekend. The dates, again, specifically this year are
September 6th through the 9th.
Woohoo!
See you there.
Summer is here, Wenatchee Valley, and Collins is your headquarters for all your events and summer lifestyle. colorful tunics and tees and cool, easy care fabrics, capris, bermudas, and shorts, and dressy and casual fabrics. Sundresses for warm days that are cool and flattering. Amazing special occasion dresses from Joseph Ribkoff. Collins has cute, comfy sandals and shoes. So come in and pamper your feet. Brighton handbags arriving daily in vibrant colors. Amazing styles. Come in soon to Collins, where fun meets fashion in downtown Wenatchee.
Tacos Chava has something new. Customers at Tacos Chava say it's the best Mexican food around. Nachos, enchiladas, tortas, ensaladas. And introducing camarones in many styles. You'll love the fresh salsa bar with so much selection. Are you ready for Tacos Chava? Find them at 2 great locations, the Wenatchee Valley Mall and ENIACT. Tacos Chava, tan delicioso.
When it comes to finding a memory care community, you want the very best. You want to know that your loved one is safe and receiving compassionate care in a loving environment. Fieldstone Memory Care is an innovative assisted living community designed for those with Alzheimer's, dementia, and Parkinson's disease. You'll find a community specifically designed to enrich residents' lives. The Fieldstone team is here to help you navigate the important decisions you face when a loved one has dementia or Alzheimer's. Welcome home to Fieldstone.
Thanks to the help I received at Goodwill,
I have a job.
I'm working now.
Thanks to Goodwill.
Thank you, Goodwill. Thank you, Goodwill. Thank you, Goodwill. Thank you, Goodwill.
Goodwill's Employment Connection Center is a free walk-in job search assistance program designed to get you back to work. When you donate to or shop at Goodwill, you're really helping people find work.
Thank you.
Goodwill, there's more behind the store.
Hey everyone, Fletcher and Amy Ellington here from Live It Up. In the investment world, ROI stands for Return on Investment. Well, how does better health, better wealth, and better relationships sound for ROI? Join us every week right here on NCW Life and learn how to invest in the most important asset, you.
We're going to answer your questions and provide some weekly inspiration so you can create a life that you love. Join us on Live It Up.
When you call Dick's Heating and Air Conditioning, you get 35 years of experience and customer service in the Wenatchee Valley. Dick's friendly staff strongly believe in repairing before replacing and service all major brands of HVAC units. Dick's Heating and Air Conditioning is your local, independent, trained comfort specialists, proudly serving all of North Central Washington. Call 884-6444 today.
This is the NCW Life Community Calendar brought to you by Local Tel. North Central Walk to End Alzheimer's is this Saturday at Pybus Public Market from 8:30 to 11. Friends, family, neighbors, strangers, and dogs are welcome to participate. Cancer Care of North Central Washington is having an open house this Sunday from 1 to 3. Take a tour, enjoy refreshments, and meet the many volunteers. For more information and other community events, visit ncwlife.com.
And welcome back to this Tuesday edition of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. Yeah, I know it feels like a Monday. I'm Dan Kuntz alongside Steve Aaron, Cat in control. We're going to finish up the program where we started. We got some different cameras to show you around North Central Washington. We're going to take a look at the weather forecast one more time. Steve's going to take a look at the news, and I got another glance at some of the sporting events we'll be covering over the next couple of weeks. We had a good time Friday night in East Wenatchee.
Boy, oh boy, did we ever. Yeah. In fact, I don't know if that's some residual smoke that we're seeing there on our camera from the fire, the Crystal Fire.
It could be. It could be. There's no wind at all right now. There's wind is calm. Humidity, though, is, hold tight, let me hit my little refresh button because I think that's wrong. So this cannot be right. It said we're now at 70 and we were at 53 less than an hour ago.
Oh.
I think somebody went up to play with the thermostat.
Well, when I was driving into work this morning, it said 70 on my thermometer.
Maybe it is 70. I don't know. I haven't been outside for about an hour or so. That is not our usual cross camera. This is the lower cross camera. It's a little bit more towards the East Wenatchee area and a little bit lower in elevation, but you get the idea. That's what the Wenatchee Valley is looking like on this Tuesday morning, courtesy of Local Tel Sky-Fi high-speed wireless.
You can see the Upper Valley.
That's a good shot of the Upper Valley. Is that Stein's Cat or is that Monitor? That's the Monitor camera. I get confused with those two because usually with the Monitor camera, Steve, the angle that you're seeing there, you can see downtown Monitor. You can see the Monitor Hilton, the Monitor Dome, the Monitor International Raceway.
Monitor Needle.
Monitor Needle, yeah, you can normally see those, but you can't really make it out from that.
That's the Malaga Needle, I think.
Is that what it is?
Yeah,
Is that what it's called? And you can see there's quite a bit of haze in the Cascades, too.
Wenatchee River winds through the upper valley there.
Full of water, I'm told. Wenatchee River is one of the wettest rivers in the north central Washington area. Camber 3, we say hello to, that's, I think, Nanapoc Ridge, which is one of my favorites. So a few high clouds up in the Lake Wenatchee area. Nanapoc Ridge, beautiful area. I bet you the campgrounds
named after Irving Nanapoc.
Yeah,
right?
Irving Nanapoc, yep. Yeah. And his vice president, former director of Homeland Security, Tom Ridge. Also, it should be pointed out, you know, it was a last-second decision, but they opened up all those campgrounds up the ante at.
They did, they did.
It was like a first-come, first-served, but my guess is they were probably pretty busy.
Well, if you notice, some of those campgrounds up there were pretty devastated by a fire here a couple of years ago. So a lot of stumps and burned trees, but hey, it's open.
I wonder how busy they were because it was a last-second deal. A lot of people, you know, for their Labor Day camping, they make plans weeks in advance.
Sure.
And they were probably assuming that all the campgrounds up the ante at drainage would not be open, so they probably had already made plans to go elsewhere. Good morning, Lake Chelan. That's Bear Mountain camera, I want to say. Looking good there. Again, a bit hazy. Now, Steve, you do have oh, there goes a bird. You do have the latest. We haven't talked about this in a couple of days because it's kind of quieted down, but you have the latest on the Cougar Creek fire.
In fact,
right?
We're going to be putting that up on our Facebook page, the morning briefing from the base camp up at Fish Lake, or the fish hatchery, I should say. But that fire now, officially now 64% contained, which is good news. In fact, those areas that were threatening the communities of Eniat, Ardentbourg, and to the west, the plain area, those are all secure containment lines now. And there's no problem there or no threat anymore to those communities right now. It's that northern edge of the fire up around Grandma Creek there in the Tye Ridge area that's still unsecured, and that's where much of the effort is taking place right now by those fire crews that are working that fire. But there are far fewer firefighters too in that fire. They switched over to a Type 2 team, and so things are looking really good there.
Steve's going to have the latest on the Crystal Fire, which is pretty much contained now. That was the big fire that broke out late Friday night and early Saturday morning. He's going to have another look at the news here in just a little bit. Let's take a look at your weather forecast from the National Weather Service. Not bad at all. It's going to feel like summer because, quite frankly, it's still summer. Not bad at all. High of 84 today. By the way, for the record, Steve, we hit 81 on Sunday, and our normal high on Sunday, 81. So we hit it right on the button. 84. Our forecast high today. Not a lot of wind to talk about. Not a lot of wind tonight. Clear, 58 for the overnight low, as we mentioned at the top of the hour. There is a high pressure ridge, and it's centered just off the Washington State coast. Now, when we had that big ridge of high pressure that gave us that smoky socked in deal, that was off the Pacific Ocean, and it was ginormous. It was huge. It was keeping anything from getting away from us. This is a much smaller high pressure ridge, but there's really nothing out there to bump it out of alignment either. We're going to have a cold front come in Friday and Saturday. Most of it's Saturday for us. As you can see, our highs 84, 86, 89, 84. We're not done with the air conditioner quite yet. Then we cool down on Saturday and Sunday, which is going to be just perfect. Look at that, 76 and 79, sunny and mild. No real crazy weather out there. Pretty quiet. And September usually is pretty quiet, all things considered. But boy, we could use some rain. Really could use some rain.
Moisture would be nice right
isn't
now.
any out there. It's just, there's none in the forecast. Puget Sound has gotten some raindrops here and there.
Except for maybe the far eastern, northern part of the state later in the week.
Skipping around us. It just, away she goes. So we're still going to have that long dry spell, as we mentioned before. June 16th. June 16th was the last time we had measurable rain up at Pangbourne. That's a long dry spell.
Well, we live in a desert. What can you expect?
That's right. Absolutely. We live in the desert. Steve, you got the latest on the Crystal Fire? You want to give us some updates?
I do. As a matter of fact, right now that fire fully contained, and hey, a lot of homes were spared, but as you can see here from our time-lapse video taken from our Sky 5 Valley View cameras Sunday, as that fire was really blowing out of control there for a long time. But no structures lost, but I'm sure a close call in the East Wenatchee area when that brush fire broke out. Crystal Fire started after midnight in the area of Nile and 10th Street Northeast, just north of Pangbourne Airport. That fire quickly spread, fueled by erratic winds, extremely dry conditions. The level 2 evacuations were issued for about 40 homes in that area. Additional Resources were called in after Douglas County Fire District 2 Chief Dave Baker called for state mobilization. That fire came perilously close to those homes there in the 10th Street area. Crews from multiple agencies responded. They were worked through the weekend, as you can see here, putting out hot spots before declaring that fire fully contained Monday afternoon. So that's good news. Fire scorched over 2,600 acres of grass and brush. Elsewhere in the valley, we did lose not lose them, but the 2 homes in a Wenatchee neighborhood were damaged Sunday in a blaze that officials suspect was caused by children playing with fire. Crews from Chelan and Douglas County responded around 3 in the afternoon. The fire was located in the 1100 block of Highland Drive, just off Red Apple Road in the area of the hospital, Central Washington Hospital. Wenatchee World reports the fire spread from the yard onto the first dwelling and then spread to a neighbor's home. All the occupants, including an elderly couple, were able to escape unhurt. Meanwhile, the first home sustained damage to both the interior and exterior, with the damage to the second structure limited to just the outside of the home. One firefighter was reportedly treated for overexertion. In other news, a fatal accident caused a major traffic backup on an already holiday congested Interstate 90 Monday afternoon. The one vehicle crash left 2 dead, 6 injured, and all from the Snohomish County area. This is another accident that we're looking at right now. This was on Highway 243. It involved 3 people injured in a crash that shut down Highway 243 in Grant County. Here's the shot of that fatal crash that we just reported on I-90. There, as you can see, that motor home that crashed into the creek there off I-90, causing fatal injuries to 2 people in that motor home. They say State Patrol reported it happened when the car suffered a blown tire, crashed into a creek, that vehicle off the highway about a mile south of Ellensburg. That updates you on our news from this morning, and of course throughout the day we'll be following more developments, and for details on all those stories, we invite you to go to our website at ncwlife.com or to our Facebook and Twitter pages as well.
All in all, outside of the Crystal fire, it was a pretty quiet weekend. You know, it wasn't too bad.
Yeah, so. It was not bad, but it was kind of touch and go there for a while during that firefight over in East Wenatchee.
They really tackled that thing. And of course, the first thing they do when something like that happens, and it's anywhere near structures or neighborhoods, is to protect the houses. That's the #1 thing that they do.
Well, and luckily we had quite a contingent of firefighters working the Cougar Creek fire, and they sent them down immediately to help out. So, and then it became a state mobilization effort. And we had firefighters from Snohomish County and all over the place jumping on that one.
And one thing you'll notice as you look at maybe some of the photographs and some of the shots that we're going to get from the PTZs, a lot of people understood the importance of FireWise. They have green belts all over their houses. And there's some houses, some pretty nice houses in some pretty remote areas of the upper bench of East Wenatchee that were threatened, but almost all of them had green grass and yards and stuff in a pretty sizable area around their structure, which is what they tell you to do. You know?
Absolutely. That's what they call creating a defensible space around your home.
Yeah, absolutely. Our high school prep schedule got going on Friday night. We were at Eastmont. We were at Wildcat Stadium for the Eastmont Wildcats. They just trounced the Monroe Rams, the final, Wilson Rams, I should say. The final was 20-0. It wasn't even that close. Wilson got 1 first down the entire game.
Eastmont looking
and that
pretty
was
good
in
this
the
year?
fourth quarter. The fourth quarter, Wilson got 1 first down, and that was when Eastmont was playing their backups. So they didn't have, they didn't have a lot of, no problems at all with Wilson. The Eastmont Wildcats, by the way, hit the road this weekend. They'll be down in Tri-Cities to take on Pasco Bulldogs, so we won't be covering that game. The Wenatchee Panthers, their first 2 games are on the road. They went to Snohomish to take on Mount Si Friday night and just got clobbered 52-0. Mount Si is one of the best high school football teams in the 4A level in the state. And then it's off to Lewiston, Idaho this weekend, so both Eastmont and Wenatchee are on the road this weekend. But we pick up right where we left off on tomorrow. On Thursday. Thursday, September 6th, we'll be back at Eastmont High School at the football stadium at Eastmont Stadium, Wildcat Stadium, as the Cashmere Bulldogs and the Eastmont girls soccer team do battle. So it's going to be good to see my friend Matt Wisen again. I think Eric and Matt Wisen are calling that game.
So we got the Seahawks starting on Sunday.
Seahawks start on Sunday to take on the Denver Broncos. So yeah, football is now in full swing. It's September, folks. And yes, it still feels like a Monday. Everybody have a great Tuesday. Darcy Christofferson, my guest tomorrow. Till then, bye-bye.